Hello and welcome to this video on building your first own confirmatory factor analysis in Mplus using syntax. My name is Geiser, I'm an instructor with QuantFish. In this video I want to show you the most straightforward way to generate the syntax for a confirmatory factor analysis in Mplus. And that method uses the Mplus Diagrammer, which allows you to draw your confirmatory factor model simply as a path diagram and then to generate the syntax and the code from that path diagram. So let's get started and let's take a look at how we can do that in Mplus. You can see I have an open or empty syntax window open in Mplus, and so if you don't know what commands you need or how to write the syntax, then the most straightforward way to go about this is to click on the diagram option and then to click on Open Diagrammer. For that, you first of all have to have an empty syntax window open here. If you don't have that, you can just simply click on this new button here after you open Mplus, and then once you have this white open empty page here in Mplus, then it allows you to click on the Open Diagrammer option. And so then the diagrammer in Mplus opens up, and now on the right hand side you can see you already have your Mplus syntax prepared with some basic commands already in there, and on the left hand side you have your diagram window where we will draw our confirmatory factor analysis shortly. So before we do that, there are two things that you have to do manually, and so one is you have to enter the name of your data file. So in my situation, in my example, the data file is simply called data.dat. And so here it's important that first of all, you have exactly this file with that name and that file extension in a folder that you know where the location of that folder is, because we will have to tell Mplus later when we save and run our syntax where this data file is so that Mplus can find it. So we have to save our syntax for simplicity, or we can save our syntax for simplicity in the same folder where we have this exact data file, and then Mplus will automatically find it. Another thing that Mplus cannot know is the variable names, because the variable names are not in this data file. The data file only contains the values on the variables, but not the variable names as such. So in the variable names command, we have to enter the variable names before the semicolon in the correct order. So in my case, there are 4 variables, y1, y2, y3, and y4. And so we can either enter them one by one, or if you have a list like that, you can abbreviate that by simply entering y1 hyphen y4, and then Mplus will know, okay, there are 4 different variables that are named y1, y2, y3, y4, a whole variable list with the same basic name. And then next, you could also enter a title. So this is optional. You don't have to do this, but you can write something here that will remind you of what this model is about. For example, my first CFA in Mplus. And here we're going to do a 2-factor model. Next, we can switch over to the diagrammer on the left hand side, and now we can click on that, and then these options here at the top become active. So you can see you can draw an observed variable with a square, you can draw a latent variable with a circle, you can draw a factor model or a growth model. So this even allows you to specify a latent growth curve model. So here we're going to go with a standard confirmatory factor model, and the easiest way to get that started is by clicking on this factor option here. So then this becomes active, and then when you click in the diagrammer window, Mplus asks you first of all how many observed variables are on this factor. And here my first factor has 2 observed variables, so I'm going to click OK. And then we can either go with default variable names, which may conflict with the names that you have in your list. So I would not typically recommend that option, but rather to enter variable names of your choice. And then first of all, we can define the factor name of this factor. So I'm going to call this F1. and then OK, and then you enter your variable names for this factor. So in my case, y1 and y2 are the indicators of factor f1. So I'm just going to enter y1, y2 here. And then you can see we already have our first factor with those two indicators. And on the right-hand side, you now in the model statement have the corresponding syntax f1 by y1, y2 for f1 measured by variable y1 and y2. So then we can go ahead and we can define the next factor by again clicking here on this factor symbol and then clicking in the diagrammer, and we're going to do the whole same thing again. So again, we have two observed variables. We're going to go with user-defined variable names. We're going to call this factor f2, and then that factor is measured by y3 and y4. So I'm going to enter those two here and then OK. And then you can see now we have a two-factor model. Mplus automatically allows factors to be correlated in a CFA, even though this is not shown in the diagrammer here, but the syntax here implies that f1 and f2 will be allowed to correlate. Now, if you want to make that explicit in the model and in the syntax, then you can click on this double-headed arrow symbol here, draw covariance, and then we can enter the covariance between f1 and f2 explicitly, and you can see then also in the syntax we have a command that says f2 with f1, so that's the covariance parameter. And so now you're ready to run this model. However, you might want to choose some additional output that's not given here by default, and so this can be done by adding the output command to your syntax. You don't have to use uppercase letters, by the way, and Mplus is not case sensitive. You could write this in lowercase output and then std, or first of all samstat I would choose, so the sample statistics, so you get your observed means, variances, covariances, and correlations, and then also stdyx is useful to get the standardized solution so that you can also get standardized factor loadings and the correlation between the two factors. So those two, and you could add additional output commands depending on what other output you would like. You could do this later on. So now we have our model completely specified. So then we can click on the run button here to run the model. And then Mplus asks us whether we want to save the changes to Mplus input 1, so whether we want to save our syntax, and yeah, of course we want to do that, so we're going to click on yes, and then we can save it where we would like to save it. In this case, I'm going to save it here under documents. I'm going to call this a two-factor CFA, and then in the same documents folder, in this case, I have the data file. So this file named data.dat, and that's why Mplus will be able to run my syntax now. If you do not have your data file that is listed here under data file equals in this very folder where you're saving your syntax, Mplus will have trouble finding your data file. So make sure that you save your syntax, your input file in the same folder in which you also have this data file, and then this should work just fine. So I'm going to click on save, and then Mplus X the syntax. We get our output on the right hand side. On the left hand side we have the diagram with the two factors. It looks a little bit different now. Those indicators are on the right hand side of the factors, but it's the same model, and you can see we have parameter estimates already in the diagram along with standard errors in parentheses after or behind each parameter estimate. You can see Mplus automatically fixed the first loading on each factor to 1 here for identification. Therefore, this loading does not come with a standard error. However, the other loadings here are freely estimated and they also have standard errors. And then we have the factor variances as well as the factor covariance on the left-hand side. And on the right-hand side, we have the error variances also with standard errors. Now, On the right hand side, we have more detailed output, and the first thing that always is given in Mplus output is a reproduction of all the syntax command that we ran previously. So therefore we can check our syntax, and then we can scroll down. You can see here input reading terminated normally. There was no problem with our syntax. We have 500 observations. This is our sample size. We have a list of our observed variables and the latent variables that were used here. The default estimator in Mplus for continuous variables is maximum likelihood, ML. And then after that, we get our sample statistics, the observed means, covariance matrix, and correlation matrix. You can see variables were substantially correlated. And then we get univariate descriptive statistics that you can also, or that you might also be interested in potentially. After that, we get hopefully only the message that the model estimation terminated normally, as in this case. So there were no estimation problems here, no improper solutions or convergence issues. And then after checking that, we can take a look at model fit information. And here specifically, we would be interested in the chi-square test of model fit for our model, which here is non-significant, indicating that this two-factor model fits the data well. Also, the RMSEA fit statistic is looking good with a value of 0. CFI and TLI look good with values of 1.0. And the SRMR also is very close to 0, indicating that there are no large covariance residuals in the model. So our observed covariance matrix matched the model implied covariance matrix very closely here. Next are the unstandardized parameter estimates. In the first column is the point estimate for each parameter in unstandardized metric. Those are the same estimates that you find in the diagram on the left-hand side here right now. And then you also have standard errors for all parameter estimates. Again, those are the same ones that you find here in parentheses in the diagram. And then the next column gives a Z statistic for a test of significance, which is obtained by dividing the point estimate by its standard error. And so then this test statistic can be used for tests of statistical significance, for which Mplus gives a two-tailed p-value in the last column. And then when we scroll down, we can see that we also get standardized model results, stdyx, because we added this output command, stdyx. And so this gives us now the standardized factor loadings right here. So those all are pretty strong, indicating that the variables are strongly correlated with their factors. Also, standard errors are provided for those, Z statistics and p-values. And then below that is the factor correlation. So this is the standardized covariance between F1 and F2. And so this shows us that the two factors are pretty substantially correlated at 0.62. Whereas in the unstandardized solution, at the top, we get the covariance. So this is not a correlation, that's the covariance, because here the factors are not standardized. You can see that from the fact that their variances are not 1.0 here, because this is the unstandardized solution. So you have to be careful when you want to find the factor correlation. You should take a look at the stdyx standardized solution. That gives you the correlation of 0.62. There's also a way to depict the standardized solution in the path diagram by going to View, or clicking on the diagram and then going to View. And then when you go to stdyx estimates, then you can see now the factors are standardized. They have variances of 1 now with no standard error. And now here the correlation of 0.62 is depicted here instead of the covariance. Also, you have the standardized loadings here now, and you have standardized error variances. Now, by clicking on this diagram, somehow my other output disappeared, but you can always go back to that by going to Window and then going to two-factor cfa.out, and there it is again, side by side. And then at the bottom, you can see we also get R squared. So those are the squared standardized loadings in this case, indicating reliabilities of the indicators. And here you can see those were all fairly reliable, ranging between 0.614, which is a bit low, and 0.797, which is pretty good for a reliability estimate. So This is how you can generate a CFA very easily in Mplus. In the same way you could do a second order CFA. You could add a latent variable to the diagram here by clicking this option. So there are all kinds of possibilities to do a CFA in this way. If you need to change something in your syntax and rerun it, you can go to Window, and then you can go to Windows, and here select Window to bring to front. You can select your input file. And so this will take you back to your syntax file where you can then add some additional syntax or additional commands or change your model if you need to do that. I hope you found this video useful to learn about how to start confirmatory factor analysis in the Mplus software. My name is Geiser, and I'll see you in the next video.